Hey everybody, Steve Billman here. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are going to continue our series, Rhythm Studies for Bass Players. And in this series, I have an advanced video and I have basic videos. And today is going to be the advanced. Now they're both challenging, but the advanced is obviously a little bit more difficult. Inside of that, there's a series I'm doing called Studies in Polyrhythm. And it's a three-part series, video 1, 2, and 3. Video 1 we've already done, and that was called 7/2 applied to grooves. So if you haven't seen that yet, I would highly recommend you checking that out as well. Today we're going to do video 2, which is going to be 7/3 applied to groove. And like the first video, we're going to break down the group of 7, how to count it, and then we're going to break down the polyrhythm, how to get 7/3 within the context of that. And then after that, we're going to apply each one of those, I should say that 7/3 to 2 or 3 different grooves. And we're going to apply it actually to the bass. Okay, so that's what we're going to do in this video. These examples are from my book with the same title, Rhythm Studies for Bass Players, and it's on my website, stevebillman.com. Right now it's only an ebook, so you can only download it, but hopefully soon it will be in a physical book. But all these examples that I'm giving you today will be in it. Now, we're going to play at a tempo of 43 beats per minute. Now, that might seem slow, but again, we're dealing with 7 notes in the space of 1 beat. So it's actually might be a little fast for you to actually play these examples. So what I would encourage you to do is listen to me play them, and then in your practice time, go to a slower click like 35 or 40 beats per minute, whatever you have to do, even if it's 30, to get these grooves under your fingers. And then once you do that, you can come back to the video and you can practice with that. Okay? And as always, I'll probably make short clips of the examples as well. So you'll have access to that in the future as well to be able to practice. All right, so with that said, why don't we dive into the rhythm? All right, so here we go. We're going to start with just breaking down the group of 7. So what we're doing is we're taking 7 notes and we're evenly spacing them into 1 beat. Now, the evenly spacing part is the really important part because we want to make sure that they're consistently the same length. Otherwise, we get a bumpy ride. Okay, so that's the first thing we want to do is just make sure that we can get it those 7 beats to be consistent. Or sorry, if I say 7 beats, I mean 7 notes. Those 7 notes to be consistent. Okay. And like the first video of this series, we're going to use the subdivision of counting of 4 and 3. I did that in the first video, but this one we're actually going to do 3 and 4. So it's going to equal 7 either way. Here we go. So the way I'm going to count it is I'm going to count it 3 in Indian counting, which would be takite, and then we're going to use 4, which would be takadimi. So takite takadimi, takite takadimi, takite takadimi, takite takadimi, 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 takadimi, takite takadimi. Okay. Now that in itself might take you guys a minute to figure that out, and that's okay. But the Indian counting is nice, and again, I use it all the time. But the Indian counting is nice because the syllables, it's a little easier for me at least to those syllables to run off my tongue once I get them. It takes a minute to do that. So again, practice them slower. Practice it slower if you need to do that. Okay. All right. So that's how we're going to count it. Now, what we're going to do is apply it to the instrument. So I'll wait on the click for a second. Takite, takite, takadimi, takite, takadimi, takite, takadimi, takite, takadimi, ta. Okay? So that's the first thing we want to make sure we have. So I would practice that with a click. excuse me, I would practice that with a click. And if you have to do it slower, then that's okay too. So again, go to 30 beats or 35 beats per minute. Okay? All right, so that's the first part. Now the second part is we're going to create the polyrhythm. So we're going to create the 7/3. So what we're going to do is instead of counting takadimi, takite, takadimi, we're just going to count the takite, the first grouping that we're doing, and we're going to let that roll all the way through the 3 beats. So it's 7/3, so obviously we're going to be in 3/4, and that's what you're going to see on these examples. So if I still look at that A, and I see the 7 notes, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an accent after every third note, after every third 16th note. And this is going to give me 7 accents in the space of 3 beats, 7/3, okay? So 3 times 7 is 21, 7 times 3 is 21. It just depends on how you look at it, okay? But both end up in the same space. You're going to have 21 notes in a bar from these groupings. You'll have 21 notes in a bar of 3/4 time. All right? It's pretty simple, easy math. Okay, so let's try this. Let's try to find the 3s now. So I'm going to start with the grouping of 7 notes, and then I'm going to go to 3. Okay? Group in 3s. 1, 2, 3. Taki, 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 taki. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so you can see there with the metronome, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use the metronome as another instrument. So even though I'm not in the space of where the clicks are, I'm playing over them, I can still hear how the clicks play against what I'm playing. And that's what I want to try to feel, because once I feel that, that's where the groove starts to happen and I know I'm locked in. So the metronome will help you once you get used to playing off of it. But I'm kind of paying attention to where it's landing as opposed to my against where my accents are. And that's a really important element of grooving these kind of rhythms, okay? Making them groove. All right, so that's the 3, or the 7/3. So we did it with one note. Now let's look into making it into grooves. Here we go. All right, so our first groove then is going to be letter B, and you can see we're changing notes now, and you're going to see 7 accents there, okay? So we're starting on E, 3 notes, C sharp, 3 notes, D, 3 notes, E again, C sharp, D, 3 notes, and then we have a little riff at the end, and then it's back, okay? So again, the first thing I'm going to do is just try to find the 7, and then I'll start to play the groups of 3. Here we go. Okay, so that was the first groove. And again, if the 43 beats per minute is too fast for you, that's okay. Slow it down and get it comfortable there before you try to play with the video. All right, so the next 2 now, we've got 2 more. This is letter C. And on this one, we're going to slap it. So if you're not comfortable with slapping it, that's okay. You can still use your fingers. And, you know, I've said this before on the previous video, that really to try these with fingers, slapping, and a pick is a good thing because it'll help you in all your techniques. It's not only using our fingers, but we want to be able to do this with all the right hand techniques, okay? You could even do it with muting if you wanted to, however you want to break it up. All right, so let's look at C. And again, it's the same concept. Well, before we get into the click, sorry, let me just break down the riff. So again, we're playing all these notes in groups of three. So it's kind of a little bluesy kind of riff. Okay, so break down the fingerings and what I'm doing and break down the notes first before you try to get into this, obviously. But once you have it, again, we're going to start with where the 7 notes are, and then I'm going to break it up into this funk groove. One, 2, 3. All right, so there you go. That one is a little tricky just because of the technique, the slapping, making sure that all the notes are the same. That's the hardest part. And even with me, you know, there's adjustments that I'm making because I'm listening to where the click is, like I said before, and I'm sort of having to adjust. Maybe I'm a little bit ahead, a little bit behind. But when you get into that sweet spot, I'm telling you, there's no groove like it. So just give it time. And make sure that you have the first 2 things we did, which are being able to count the grouping of 7 and then also being able to feel the 7/3 with one note before you try these. Don't get discouraged with it because it takes time. All right, so let's go to D. All right, so letter D. So this is going to be another slap groove. And again, I'm going to find where the group of 7 is first, and then I'm going to go into that. Oh, let me break it down for you. So here we go. So here are the notes. Again, we're phrasing everything in 3s. Here's 1. 1. Sorry about that. Okay, so, and again, I'm using pull-offs. That's a pull-off. There's a few pull-offs in there just to make the groove a little greasier. All right, y'all, let's try this, all right? So here we go. Letter D. One, 2, 3. All right, so that last one for me at least is the hardest one. You know, again, the hardest part of this is just being consistent with those groupings. But with, you know, work, you just keep working at it and it's going to get consistent, it's going to get better, it's going to get stronger. And again, you'll start to feel the groove. When you're really locked in with the click, there's no groove like it. It's pretty amazing. So there you go, you guys. There's the 7/3. Again, practice these slow by yourself. Make sure you have the initial grouping of 7 notes correct, evenly spaced. Then, you know, make them into into groups of 3. Sorry, not 3 accents. Make them into groups of 3s. Try to get that locked in with one note. And then once you do that, then you start going to the other grooves that I created. Okay. And then once you do that, try to veer off and maybe create your own lines, create your own melodies, create your own songs using these concepts, because I don't want them just to be exercises. They should be used musically. So that's where that's at. So again, as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching these videos. I hope it helped. And God bless you guys. I will see you on the next one. Okay, take care.